Red square.
Yep. Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Roger Myers. Talking again about making frames. I do my frames just a little different than David does. So I'm going to show you. I still use my jig frames by hand years ago, but they weren't always square, so I went to the frame jig and I get a lot square frames. Another thing I do is I alternate my frames, one up, one down, and that allows me to keep my frames even more square. They don't seem to lean back and forth like I see a lot of other people's. My frame jig holds 10 frames. I'll put these in. The last one fits very tight. I use just an elastic cord around it to hold the frames in place. And then I glue, and I glue every joint. I use a little bit smaller brush than David does. I use like a small artist paintbrush that I buy wherever at Dollar General or wherever I can find them cheap. Smear them. I like to smear all the contact surfaces as much as possible. The more glue, more contact I get, the better. Give it a little time to soak in. I'll have to glue some more pieces the other side up. Sometimes I maybe glue 5 in frame and 5 in frame. It all depends on my mood of the day. So there, I got all my frames glued up. Now I'll glue my other pieces. 5 bottom frames because I got 5 here, and I try to get some glue down in the center piece because there is a rib here on my frames. Every manufacturer is just a little bit different. I like to glue all my joints. I see like David, he just glues one side and not the other. But in my industrial arts class way back many years ago, they taught us to put glue on every piece of wood wherever it meets. You want that glue to soak in. The glue's going to do most of your holding. So I got all my bottoms done, so I push them in, get them started. Some of them fit really tight. On these top pieces, I'm not going to remove my rib here. I'm going to put plastic foundation in. Dave showed how to put the real wax foundation in. I'm going to use plastic, and I do not have to remove the slot here. So I'm going to leave that in, so all I have to do is do a little glue in here. And then I always tap them all down with the hand. Okay, I love stapling all mine back together. When I first started, I didn't have an air nailer, but one day I bought some frames that I think were yellow pine, and you couldn't drive a nail in them. Every nail would bend over. So I went and got my air nailer and never looked back because it goes so much faster. I use 1/4 inch crowns, about 1 1/4 inches long. My stapler uses 18 gauge staples. Most of these little handy guns either come in 16 or 18. Alright, we have all of our frames glued. They're stapled. I take mine out before I this. Pull them out and put my and staple in. Just like that. That way you almost guarantees it won't pull apart. Now, every once in a while, you'll have one that your staple or brad will want to come out the side. What I do there is I take a little punch and will punch that back down so I don't catch it with my hide tool. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate of how to put a wax plastic sheet in. Different manufacturers make them just a little different. This is an Acorn plastic foundation. They have a little perforated corners in that you can snip the corner off, and you can see I did here, and that way it gives the beads a little easier access from one side of the frame to the other. These are Purcos. They don't have them. I think the rest of these, after I'm done with this video, I'll probably snip the corners off. This one is standard waxed, and as you can see, you can't hardly see any wax on it. This is called double wax, and this is the difference. You also can buy triple wax. And for the new beekeepers, I personally would recommend going with the triple wax, spending a little more money for a triple wax. It'll save you from having to wax these. This one here, I will have to melt wax and paint some more wax on for the bees to accept it really well. So to put the plastic in, I always put the bottom in first. It slides in the groove, and then the top just snaps in place. And move it down a little bit, and there you go, ready to go. You can see there's the bottom groove, top groove. Guess it really doesn't matter if you put the top in first or the bottom. Put them in. You can get them to slide. Of course, this one wants to fight me. Put in the bottom groove, I guess, first. Get slid in good, and then pop the top in. And there you go. Just slide it down in. It's catching on the wax a little bit. They got the wax right up the top, but it'll work. Thank you.